time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by
PSE Archery, Yamaha Outboards, Better the Hunt, Easy Cut, Packer Max, Deer Camp Coffee, Buck Baits, JPO Game Calls, Limwalker Game Calls, Wild Seasoning, Total Peep, Sunrise Archery, Scent Lock, and Scent Blocker.
Welcome back to the 603rd episode of Up North Journal podcast. That would be the 203rd live episode, I do believe.
Yeah, 603.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're here in the new cabin.
We are.
For those of you watching, for those of you listening, you can't see it, but you can probably hear that ambient noise in the background.
Right, exactly.
Which is the highway.
Mark Coleman says Danny sounds great and Mike sounds old.
I am older.
I like the new cabin sound already.
Which
That's
means
a good
I
thing.
am wiser. So
Right.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
You know
man?
what? Actually, we were talking about space-wise.
Yeah.
It kind of still feels the same.
It kind of does.
It's a different color.
Yeah, it is. We
But
went with a little different color in here.
But it's okay. It's good.
We need some change,
We need change. Change is good.
Instead of the green, I went with the gray because we got a little gray in our beards, after everything we've been through. So,
And Tom Gensel found us.
hey, Tom, welcome to the show. Finally.
Right? He says the volume is low also.
A little low. Okay, well, we'll keep tweaking out here.
We'll keep tweaking, see if we can bring that volume up. But yeah, we are back. It is great to be back. We were out for a little bit, moving the cabin, getting everything situated. But it is good to be back, just on the heels of the big holiday weekend.
It is Memorial Day.
Right, exactly. And you know what?
And it's not about a 3-day weekend to go make barbecue and stuff.
I was just about to say, because Memorial Day is about why we can do this.
Right, absolutely.
Right? So that's a good thing. A big shout out to all the service men and women that have served, are serving, and our future ones that are thinking about serving.
There you go.
So definitely a cool thing. But
Still tweaking audio here.
Yep, you. That's why I keep talking, so you can listen to the audio and see where we're going with it, and hopefully it'll sound a lot better here by the time we get rolling and the show's going.
I just thought you'd like to talk.
I do like to talk. I haven't talked in a while. You know me.
It's been 6 weeks since we've been back.
It has been 6 weeks, and so it's just one of those things. I think what we knew, we haven't talked about them in 6 weeks, but I think we need to get to our sponsors.
Absolutely. You want to get that taken care of right here out of the gate?
Yeah, let's take care of it. We can't forget our sponsors. Jeez, oh Pete, this show wouldn't happen pretty much without it.
Well, we did announce this.
Yeah, we announced that.
Right before we signed off before the big move.
Yeah, April 1st. We went with, as usual, Buck Baits. They have their store down in Sterling Heights, Michigan, Deer Camp Outfitters. You can go check them out, or you can check them out online. Use the promo code UNJ20, and you'll get 20% off your order at buckbaits.com.
There you go.
Packer Max. I tell you what.
It's that time of year.
It is that time of year. He is busy. He's been doing some drops. He is got his new crimper. The first one went out. If you go over there, give him a shout at packermax.com or give him a call. Talk to Lincoln. If you want $25 off your order, use the promo code UNJ25. And we got turkey calls. We got all kinds of calls. We had them on the show. JPO game calls. You want 10% over there on your order. UNJ10 at jpogamecalls.com.
Well, it's not going to be that long before early goose season's here, so you need to get over there and see what they've got to offer.
I tell you what, I was driving up and I saw the little fur balls, the Canadian goosers in some fields by some ponds.
Yeah.
So, but another one. It's grilling season. You've been grilling. Nancy's been grilling. Everybody's been grilling. Got to try some wild seasoning on your grilling. Pretty good stuff, isn't it?
I don't have that slate yet to use.
Gotcha. So if you want 10% off your order there, go over to wildseasoning.com. Use the promo code UNJ2021. You'll get 10% off your order.
Have you used any of their stuff?
Yeah, I've used it. I've used it on chicken and fish, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I love it.
It
Especially
depends on what flavor you want.
There you go, right there.
There you go. And the last one we got, obviously, you're drinking a Deer Camp coffee. Get 10% off your order. UNJ 10. I don't know why it says XX, but you don't have that slide yet. I got to fix that.
Yep.
DeerCampCoffee.com. Go over, check it out. We got some flavors here, showing you off what they got. They got a nice selection of different ones. The Huntress, the little chocolate blend one, awesome. The hazelnut is just fantastic.
The Rut?
The Rut is good. That's your dark roast. You're a happy man with that one.
That's right.
But
and don't forget, they got the cold brew stuff, too.
I was just about to say, if you get down there to the store, try the cold brew. It is unique.
Very unique. I'm not a cold coffee guy. I didn't think. Never. It's just something that I didn't really think about. I was like, coffee's supposed to be hot. And he's like, no, you just got to try it. And I was so pleasantly surprised that I cannot wait to get some more of that. And he's going to show us how to do our own, I think.
Right. Mark Coleman has missed us.
Well, we've missed you guys. Man,
Absolutely.
It's been 6 weeks, maybe 7. I don't know. We were supposed to be back last week, but I didn't get the cabin unpacked, put back together. I had to have some cables made from a friend of mine and had to get that taken care of. Once the cables got made up, I could make all the connections work. So that's kind of where we were at.
Billy Hoffman says, my gain is high.
Your gain is high.
Mark Coleman says he's missed us.
Actually, his is set just about exactly where mine's at. I just need to bring you down a touch, that's all.
Dan's high end is squelching. The crimper video looks great from Tammy. Absolutely. That's over. Check that out over at Packer Max.
That's a new little gizmo he's got that he put on the Packer Max as another tool.
Good note from Tom Gensel here. This is the last weekend in Michigan to put in for your bear or elk tags.
That's right. Yes, make sure you get that done.
You got that. You got till Monday.
I've got my point put in for the bear tag. Obviously, I can't do the elk tag. So
right. You're done for 10 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
unless I put in for the pure Michigan hunt, which I could still do.
Okay.
But I'm saving my little dollars for next year because Danny and I are hopefully going to
do the bear hunt up at your place.
Yep, that's the plan. So
that is the plan. So, but another thing, I want to give a shout out to M123 FM. Great little station up in Newberry. If you haven't seen some posts by Deer Camp, I think we've shared them as well.
Can you make that full?
I can make that full. Like that.
Is that live?
That is live. That is. Ooh.
What? Doggone it. Can't take you in
there. There goes a truck going by. It is 41 degrees up there. I just checked before we went on the show.
In Newberry, Michigan.
In Newberry, and I tell you what, I looked at the low. I think it said the low is going to be 37. It's a little chilly up in the UP. It's a little chilly here.
What did it hit last night? 43 here?
It was 40 in the 40s. I don't know what it ended up being.
It was 51 when I left to go to work this morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay. So, yeah, it was...
it's almost June.
It's a good and a bad thing. It knocks the bugs down.
Yeah, I don't know. But we want to, give a shout out to the M123 FM up there in Newberry.
Absolutely. Give them a shout out if you're up there. Check out, we'll get the name of the pizza place because I can't remember off the top of my head. And, get up there. They just had a big cookout contest last weekend up there.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. It sounded like it was their first ever.
Hey, there's another car. Oh, there's 2.
Yeah. So
3. Wow.
Absolutely.
It goes Jeep.
You had to point out that it's a Jeep.
That's right.
Oh boy, it's a Jeep thing. I know. So, but if you ever up in Newberry, check out. There's
for all you Jeep guys, gals.
The pizza place up there is also selling Deer Camp coffee. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Can you get wild seasoning up there too?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
I don't know.
I want to give a big shout out to Mark Coleman as well, who is watching the show. And I want to give a shout out to Raised at Full Draw. They set out to... He put 2 weeks ago he set out a post that he wanted to match donations. If people donated, it costs $250 per kid to go to camp.
And they're teaching them archery.
It's a 3-day camp. So what he did is he put it out and he dared everybody. Hey, you give $100, I'll put up the rest. Let's get 40 kids to go to camp. Mm-hmm. And you know what? They did it last night.
That's awesome.
They got all 40. They got donations. He's matching them, so they're going to have 40 kids going to Raised at Full Draw.
Where's that at, by the way?
Okay, so the camp itself is going to be held in the Michigan one. They have them in different states. The Michigan one is going to be here in Morley, Michigan.
Okay.
It's going to be a youth camp. It looks like end of July 22nd and 25th. Over in Morley, Michigan. It's over on the west side of the state, just above Grand Rapids, I guess.
Okay.
And so they're going to be having kids going over there doing the camp. But big shout out to Mark Coleman getting it done.
What's the? I mean, those dates is that
July?
Is that during the week?
It's a Thursday to Sunday.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I think I'm out of town that weekend. I would love to have popped over there.
Right, exactly. Maybe I'll go over there
and check it out.
Yeah. I'll talk with Mark Coleman here, see what he's doing. Maybe we can meet over there, get over there and check it out, see how it all goes. I guess it's a really good time, and they've got several other camps in other states as well. Besides youth camps, they've got women camps, they've got family and youth adult camps. So
okay,
it's 3 days of learning archery, and it's way more than just archery, right? It's learning about. Let me just cruise over here and kind of give you the gist, as everybody can see it on the screen as I'm clicking on it live.
Well, Mark says too, it's probably getting close to morel mushroom time up there. Yeah, actually, there's people that are finding them up here on.
They've been finding them, on a pretty regular
3 or 4
basis, right? So yeah, go check it out. Raised at fulldraw.com. That'd be awesome. Help them out. You can always donate anytime, and you just click on the donate button, and you can donate whatever you want to do.
There you go.
Absolutely. So,
speaking of archery, you been shooting?
Actually, I have been shooting. I actually got my bow out a couple weeks back. I switched arrows from the indoor arrows to
I haven't shot
the
since
hunting
Lee.
setup, and because I used the same sight and I just tweaked for indoor, I just went back to my setup for hunting.
Okay.
I'm right there.
So that's right. You were using your hunting rig.
Yep.
As your target rig. I haven't touched my hunting bow since TAC last year.
Okay.
I take that back. Did we shoot after TAC? Did we shoot?
Yeah, we shot with Gina up at 3D over at Linda Lakes.
Okay, that's the last time I shot that bow. Because I didn't hunt last year with everything going on. I mean, everything was topsy-turvy with me in the house and everything, and
situation.
My family life situation.
Right,
so.
I hear you. Tammy Duck says Deer Camp coffee can be purchased at it's called, I think it's Cedars Pizza.
Yeah, Cedars. Yep.
There you go. So thanks, Tammy. You can buy it while you're up there. Billy Hoffman says that's better. Oh, Tammy says the K-Cups are really good. Opening day flavor is what that comes in.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And Mark Coleman says they need volunteers also over at that camp.
Over in Morley?
Over at camps.
I'm going to be camping. It's actually Nancy and I's first long-distance trip this year.
Okay. Cool.
We went to Rifle River Rec area, and we've been to Bay City State Park. So, just like the last one was like an hour away from home.
Right.
Or from her house, actually. But, this is going to be the first one. This is going to be way up north. So
nice. Excellent.
Otherwise, I would be glad to help out. Maybe that's something we can do in the future.
Absolutely. We'll keep in contact. I'm sure Mark will be a long-time listener in the show, and we'll keep in contact.
We need to get Mark on the show and talk to him about this.
Absolutely. We can have him on the show, talk to him about it, see how it goes, and see what we can do in the future with them.
I tell you what, we're running up here on the first break. Let's go ahead and take our first break, and when we come back, we'll kind of get into some of the stuff we've been doing.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Since we were last here on the air 6-7 weeks ago.
Right.
All right, we're going to step outside. We'll take our first break. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, second segment of the show.
And we got a question right out of the gate from Mark Coleman.
Yeah.
He wants to know if we have mirrors on the ceiling.
No Lionel Richie. Or that's dancing on the ceiling.
That's dancing on the ceiling.
There you go.
And the second question is, do you both shoot PSEs?
Yes, we do. Hey, grab the box.
Hold on.
You want to break into that? Then, yes.
I'm going to rip my headset off.
Are you shooting that same bow?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm shooting the 34.
Actually, I just got mine. I've not even unboxed it yet. So this is going to be the first time that I've actually
held it.
Yep, outside the box. As you hear wrinkle of the paper or the plastic. Here, toss that over there. Okay. So here you go, guys and gals. Brand new. The EVO EVL from PSE. This is the 32. You got the 34.
I'll be getting the 34, yes.
Comes with the ECS cam system on it, is what we've been shooting for the past 3 years now.
Yes, ever since that. You know what? When they invented that, you would think, okay, how long is it going to last?
This would be the fourth year because I started with a 31, and then I got the 28, and then the NXT.
Yep,
last year was the NXT, and this one is the EVO.
The EVL.
EVL, yes.
Evil, or however you want to pronounce it, which is
the evil black bow.
Right, exactly. So yeah, you'll be shooting the 32, and I'll be shooting the 34 when mine comes in. So we'll be both shooting it in black. It's got the dual. If you want to drop your
stabilizer. Yeah. So drop that weight down. Keep it more like a plumb bob. That weight sits on the bottom. Something else they did this year is they incorporated a new soft grip on the riser. Makes it a little bit wider. So, some of the guys are saying, I really like the old grip, a little bit wider. And for the guys who say, well, wait a minute. No, I like the thin, just the riser itself. It's just a screw there and you pop it right out. And you're right back to the way it was. So
exactly. That's one of the things. And, I got mine in the 34 because I'm going to use mine for hunting and then I'll switch it over for indoor.
There you go.
But yeah, so we'll have to get down to
Sunrise. Yeah, we got to go talk to
Derek down there and get set up.
Yeah, if you guys here are local looking for a bow shop, go down to Sunrise Archery, talk to Derek Vaughn down there. Tell him we sent you down. And great people down there. They work on our bows and can't say enough of it. Last year, Danny and I were down there. We had the NXT set up and I want to say we made one small adjustment, and it was tearing a bullet hole on the paper tuning right away. I mean, it was the easiest setup I've ever had on a bow.
And we went and shot 3D that day.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
We went from the bow shop
to the course.
Mark Coleman wants to know, how does it feel in your hand?
The grip, I like it. I mean, I've not shot this bow, so I don't know. But just the grip itself. I wish I had the other one here, but it's in my case, and I think it's downstairs in the basement.
Now,
it's a little bit heavier than my bow last year, but not a lot.
Cletus Snow wants to know, he says he's been waiting for a bigger grip.
Okay.
Kind of explain how that feels right now, because you remember the old thin grips.
The old thin grip. Well, when I, with the last 3 years, 4 years, I mean, it was cut. I was cutting it right directly here in the line. To me, it set good, but I always had a hard time, like with my fingers, what I wanted to do with them. This to me feels a little more natural to me. I think I'm really going to like this grip this year. I don't know if you can. It's hard to
see on a black bow.
Yeah, black bow on a black screen back here. We don't have a lot of light in here yet, but it's. I don't know. What do you think? That's twice as wide as what it was last year.
I tell you what. At this point, right down in here, I'd say almost an eighth to a quarter on each side at one point, because the old one was really narrow.
Yeah,
and some people like it, some people don't. I know. I like that type of grip. I know my brother likes that type of grip.
And this to me is almost a rubber feel to it. It's real soft.
Okay.
The biggest problem I had with my target bow was it wanted to slide in my hand, especially indoor league. In the winter you're shooting, it's hot because they got the air or the furnace running. Your hand gets sweaty. I get nervous shooting anyway, so my hand was like. So we started with a grip paper, sandpaper on the back. I didn't like that, so I started using hockey tape and wrapping it. But with this, what I'm thinking right now is in the fall, or specifically late fall when it gets cold, your hand's not going to be sitting on that metal riser.
That's a nice feature, when you're sitting there, and if you wear a thinner glove or no glove,
right,
that'll definitely here in Michigan.
So
but cool.
We'll have to get them tuned up and get them rocking and report back. So
right, we'll see if it's any easier tuning than it was last year.
Yeah, got to get a drop away, got to get a sight system. I don't know what I'm going to do this year with that. Got the peeps already from Total Peep that are going in.
Yep, they're all ready to go. We just got to get over there, and I got to get my bow in, and then we'll get you down there, and then I'll go over there, and
I'll let you set that over there.
Well, thank you very much.
You're still waiting on yours because of the color, correct?
Well, 34 in black. We're waiting on.
Oh, the 34. Oh, you did get it in black.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I was get mine in black.
All right.
Kind of like a Johnny Cash.
There you go. The bow in black.
Right.
So.
All right.
So there you go. The PSE EVO EVL EVO.
Right.
So
trying not to shut off the power on us.
Don't do that, please.
All right.
So you've been shooting a little bit.
Yes, it was. I just was sitting there and I said, what, I got to shoot. So
next week, that's my plan. Mark Coleman asked, "What will I do with the old bow?"
Well, he's gonna admire it, look at it.
Well, strangely enough, okay. I mean, everybody knows that we work with PSE. So, fortunately, I've got a few extra ones, and I always like to take 2 with me to the field not in the field, but 2 with me to camp, because where I'm usually at, I don't have access. If something happens and a string breaks, you cut it and touch it with a broadhead. If something happens, I've always got a backup bow.
There are no bow shops up there.
No,
and they're not going to restring your bow, guaranteed.
So, but occasionally I do part with them. So if you're interested, I can talk to you later after the show or something. So.
And that's one of the things we've talked about that before, especially with me in the Upper Peninsula. Is I usually have my bow, and I'll probably have a crossbow.
Yeah.
So, and last year I had my crossbow kind of go poof, which was kind of scary.
Right.
But that's fixed. It's back. It's ready to go.
4 months of the bow opener. I mean, right? That kind of brings things right around to home real quick.
I know, right? We're just coming into which would be is like we just said at the beginning, our first, I guess, holiday of the year,
right?
Memorial.
Yep.
But 4 months and it's bow season, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and TAC's coming up in
2 weeks.
2 weeks, so I'm probably not going to have that bow ready. I'm probably going to shoot the NXT from last year,
right?
Because it's already set up and ready to go. And I'm going to be next week. Starting next week, I'm going to set the range up here in the backyard. And I had a talk with my new neighbor about that.
Uh-oh.
And evidently there's somebody on the other side of the fence behind me that is a hunter and shoots as well. So
good.
I told her how I'm going to try to set things up and be safe with it. I've got a big privacy fence.
Shoot here.
Yeah, well, that could get me put in jail, especially with the cop shop right across the street. But folks, he's trying to get me in trouble again.
Right? New town, you got to make a name for yourself.
Yeah. Hey, Tim Ford, what's going on? Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to be back. Glad you're watching tonight. Tim, for those of you who have been watching the show here recently and not in the long distant past, Tim was part of Up North Journal, probably 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yep.
Actually, almost from the very beginning. So
yes, he was.
So
that's pretty cool. Good to see you on, Tim. Glad you're watching. But we got 2 weeks out. But for TAC, we're gonna go up for the day. We're gonna go shoot I can't remember the name of the course.
The Yeti?
I don't think it was the Yeti. Was it the Yeti?
Or the Loophole?
It's the up to 75, I think.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
You know what?
I almost wish we would have got the campsite again, but, and Nancy asked me, she goes, aren't you taking the camper up? And I'm like, oh. When we put in for this back, when they first issued ticket for sale for the event, my situation was still in limbo, and I just didn't want to spend a ton of money. So.
Right, exactly. It is what it is. At least we're going to get up there.
Yep.
We're going to get up there just for the day, but you know what? Plus, we didn't know, and truthfully, how they're going to be handling
COVID.
The COVID thing, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little bit more open, which is supposed to open up June 1st here in Michigan, and then July 1st, everything's supposed to drop.
Did they make a shoot with a mask last year? I can't remember.
No. It was way... You had to wear a mask in the
the little open area where all the vendors were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay.
At least they weren't pushing it. They were pushing the people working there to do it.
Okay.
And so they once you went on the course, nobody was wearing anything.
Good.
So
I'll still probably take one just in case. But
well,
just to be safe.
But after June 1st, it's supposed to open up a little bit more.
There you go. We'll see. Hopefully. All right.
That's where the mitt comes in. Absolutely.
There you go.
Got to get him on the show. Randy Stoppenhagen. See how he's doing.
He gets us in trouble.
He is a joy to watch on Facebook.
He
Not
is.
Gonna lie.
He's good. But it seems like we have internet issues every time we talk with him, strangely enough.
Cletus Snow also said he did some trail cleaning with a mini excavator. Watch out for those Widowmakers.
Ah, yeah. We've got one on our up at our camp on our
And
main trail.
And he paid for what he broke.
Ah, okay.
It's a good one.
And talking about that, it looks like we might be doing a logging project this late summer up at our place and doing a little habitat work.
Is it a continuation or a new?
We're going to do some oak thinning.
Okay.
And then hopefully we can get some regeneration stump sprouting, but we're going to put fencing around them and protect the stumps so when they do sprout and regen, that
they don't
deer,
get eaten right away.
Yeah. And on that subject, I mean, we're just chasing rabbits on this show today. We're just kind of like freewheeling, but I ran across an article from Dr. James Kroll, and he was talking about mass crops, and they were specifically talking about white oak and red oak and the reasons the way their cycles work with the acorns.
Okay.
The white oak produce acorns every year, and then the red oak will flower one year. The next year, the acorns come out. I didn't know that.
Oh.
I did not know that a red oak flowered one year.
It took them a year to develop the acorn.
Yes, and they said that the way they work is if you get a frost, a real heavy freeze, like in the spring with the white oak, it's going to kill it that year.
Okay.
And if with a red oak, it's not going to kill it until the following year, and then in that year that it's gone, the white oak can come back in. The way they're offset. So if it kills them both, you'll still get nature's way of saying you'll still get some acorns the following year.
No matter what happens, it covers itself the following year.
Yes.
Oh, that's neat.
Yes. And the fact that the white oak produce earlier in the year, earlier in the fall, and the red oak produce and drop them. I shouldn't say produce. They drop them earlier in the fall, whereas the red oak drop them later in the fall. So it kind of helps spread that out.
Spreads the menu.
Exactly.
Cletus is trying Japanese millet this year for deer and duck.
Okay.
Kind of cool. It's one of the things, speaking of Packer Max, now's the time to get out there, do your
due diligence in the field.
Yep. Or you're just going to have to, you could wait another month or two and get it in a little bit later for the fall plots too.
Tim Ford, he's heading to Planet Fitness. He said he's got to get back out there. Tim, proud of you, man. I know he's been hitting it hard with the workout, and with that, that's something I've got to get back into. Since my knee surgery, I've not really been back to the gym.
Yeah, life gets in the way like that.
Well, and with the moving further north, I've got to pick a new gym now.
Right? Yes, you do. I got to get back there. That's for sure. It's just I've been having one of those.
It's time.
Life struggles.
Well, I'm going to put my foot in your backside then.
All right, do that. But yeah, so you're going to be doing a little bit of a logging project with oaks, which is because they don't come back right away.
Right.
So you're going to be taking out your over mature oaks. I take it.
Yes. Well, they've run their course. They're pushing anywhere from 80 to 100 years old, and we know that's that age class because of the way they were actually a stump sprout because. All of our oaks, they're coming up in multiples of 2, 3, or 4 out of one stump, and that's a regen. And about the time that those oaks regrew was right after the big fire here in Michigan.
Okay.
So it went through there.
That's one of those things that
1900s.
I heard about it in the history books and was explained that when you see the oak stumps like that, this is the reason why.
Right.
And it's kind of really cool. You know what, Tammy? We'll talk about that in the next when we went down to H2H and met the Yamaha guy.
Oh, that's right. And that'll kind of lead into let's save that for the last segment.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that, and that'll set up actually next week's show.
Right, exactly. Perfect.
It's not what you think.
No, it's definitely not what you think. But, so is that, okay, so you said end of summer. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be done by hunting season? Or?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you what, we're bumping up here on our second break, so let's take our next break, and when we come back, I'll jump into a couple little things I've been in the middle of here lately, so we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. You know, you guys and gals have been giving us a lot of questions out there talking about, you know,
I want the beer.
What's the what?
I want the beer.
There's no beer during the show.
Oh, okay.
Got to practice safe talking.
Right?
That'll get us in trouble.
That will get us in trouble. No doubt about it.
I'll take your mic away, like I'd take the keys away.
Right?
So,
but you've been out kayaking.
I have been. We've been camping and kayaking.
She says it's muffled too.
A little muffled. Okay.
But we'll work through it.
We're going to work on that this week.
Yep. So you've been out kayaking.
Yes.
And you've been going to different places.
Yeah, you know, here recently, and we went to the Boardman River. For those of you here in the Michigan area that know where the Boardman is, that's a nice little trout stream, and we went in the middle of the day, so we didn't mess up anybody's fishing. You know, I was very respectful of that. But Nancy and I and a friend of ours, we went up and got on the Boardman and got the kayaks out. Test driving, that orange one is one that I have just purchased, and that one I actually bought used, but that is a open water kayak. And you said, well, then why were you on a river? It was to practice turning a 14.5-foot kayak.
Right.
And on the Boardman River, if anybody is familiar with that.
Well, the pictures from the Boardman, it doesn't look too wide.
It's not wide, and it wasn't real deep. And I tell you what, man, my arms got a serious workout. But I learned how to maneuver it and turn it. You know, when you're carrying an extra 4 foot of kayak, and it sits different in the water as compared to the 10-footer.
Oh, absolutely.
That I got. You know, I mean, this is definitely a lot better kayak. You know, but you know, it was a beautiful day up there. If you look, it's still a little brown. Leaves weren't on the trees quite yet, so it wasn't a lot to look at other than these geese here. And if you look on the one on the left there, for those of you who are on the live stream, you can see 2 little yellow heads popping up there. So they were hanging on their nest. So, but yeah, we had a good time, and that gives you an idea there just how wide this river is. It's not
wide at all,
and the current was pretty good.
It says it sounds like we're on a CB radio now.
Oh, great!
We're getting better.
That's not good,
right?
Well, I wonder if I've just kind of set things up a little too hot here, possibly. Right. So let's bring things back just a touch, because I don't want to sound like a CB.
Nope.
But as you can see
here,
did
they just have two little ones?
What's that? No, there was more back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was definitely more back there. But as you can see there, how tight it is too. I mean, there's a lot of debris in the river. That made it a little more challenging. But you know what? That's all good. This right here, this will just show you just how tight it was.
Wow, that is tight. There's no doubt about it.
And there was a couple spots that was way tighter than that. So, but that was over on the Boardman. But last weekend actually, this past weekend, we made our way up to the Rifle River Rec area and took the camper up, took the kayaks up, and we took Nancy's dog with us, Buster. You can see him there in the lower right. He got to go kayaking.
Yeah, Buster got to go.
Yeah, and she had her new kayak out, and I've got one just like that that's blue. So we've got two 12.5 footers. But man, you can see the weather was beautiful up there. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. But this was on Grouse Haven Lake, which is right there at the campsite.
Okay.
So, you know, or no, I take that back. I take that back. This was DeVoe Lake, I believe. I can't remember.
It was a lake that you took a picture on.
There's 5 of them up there. I can't remember which lake we were on. I think this was DeVoe. But yeah, this was a nice little little lake. There's a lot of people out there in kayaks, but we got out there and got our groove on. And once again, I'm using the 14.5 footer. And this has an actual, you can drop it down. It's got a rudder on it.
Okay.
So I got to actually use the rudder on this one, and you control it with your feet. There's two pedals inside the boat.
Right.
So I'm just getting ready to hit the open water because we're going to do Lake Huron this year, hopefully, and go over to Turnip Rock, for those of you familiar with that area over in the Thumb.
Well, you're getting told you need fishing poles because those look like smallmouth heaven.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I saw a lot of largemouth, but I didn't see any smallmouth.
Okay. Kyle Sharp says the same thing.
Okay. All right. So then we took a little hike. And for those of you who probably don't know this, because I did a little research on the area, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a story here. But back in 1870, a guy was born down in Indiana, and he went by the last name. His last name was Jewett, Jewett. I think his first name was Harold or Henry, can't remember which. He eventually wound up playing football for Notre Dame, and he scored the very first touchdown for the university, and it was against Michigan.
Really?
That's what this article said. But he was a hunter, and he was looking for land, and he came to Michigan, and he bought 7,000 acres, okay? And he built a $250,000 spread, and we're sitting on the hill overlooking these lakes of where the lodge once sat. So, long story short, he passed away in 1933, had a heart attack, died. His family didn't want anything to do with it, sold it to the state of Michigan in 1945, I think. It was in the 40s. I think it was 44 or 45, for $75,000. 7,000 acres in this big, huge two-story mansion of a lodge.
Okay.
Log home. And in 1967, the state of Michigan tore the lodge down and built this. There's a tower there now, and that's what we're standing on, an observation tower overlooking these lakes. But that was his view.
Wow.
You know, that's one view there. And let's see, I got another view of the other. Oh, I guess I don't. But anyway, one of those lakes we went on the next morning. We were up this was about 7:30 in the morning, and you can just see how beautiful the water is. And there's just something about being out on open water early in the morning before anybody else. We had the lake all to ourselves and got out there and just paddled around the whole lake and found these freshwater snails. These things are huge.
Wow.
I mean, and they're all over on this one side of the lake. So, no, we didn't take any. We put them back. But, yeah, that was kind of cool seeing that. And like I said, you know, Buster, he definitely loves the kayak.
Buster likes the kayak, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things I saw that I really enjoyed was this gigantic beaver dam. The thing is incredible.
That looks pretty big.
It is stinking huge with a capital H.
Right.
Didn't see any beaver, but...
you know he's there.
Yeah, they're there. You can see where they've been chewing and doing their thing and cutting down trees and making a mess and all that kind of good stuff. So, but, yeah, you know, I got some kayaking in last year. We kayaked quite a bit last year. And now we're incorporating it with camping, you know, and just that's what we're going to do that weekend that Mark Coleman's going to have his group's that archery school here in Michigan. We're going to be up at Interlaken.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Getting my camping on, getting my fresh air on. Yeah, it's all good.
It's better to be outside.
Absolutely. So
absolutely.
Now it's time to start shooting the bow and getting my bow on.
We only got 4 months. We've been given a deadline. 4 months.
You know what's funny about that? It comes the same time every year.
And every year when somebody throws out a date, it's like...
Right?
Really?
What do you mean it's only 2.5 months? What do you mean it's only 4 weeks? So, I'll answer that later.
Right.
Phone's ringing, so... But yeah, that's kind of what I've been
doing.
Awesome,
that's good. You know, getting out there, doing what you need to do. Like I said, with what all's been going on and everything, getting out is definitely... kayaking is a good...
But that wasn't the highlight of the camping trip.
No?
No.
What was the highlight? Do tell.
After we came back from that observation tower, we pulled back down into the campground. The whole end of our campsite, or camp area, was dead quiet. Nobody was out. And like it was kind of eerie, and we're like, what's going on? You know, couldn't quite figure it out. So I was like, well, it's getting close to supper time, so I'm going to go ahead and start the campfire. Went out and got the campfire going, and within about 10 minutes, 2 state troopers pulled up. And we're like, uh-oh, what's going on? Evidently, the campsite behind us, the guy and the gal got into it.
Really?
And they got into it pretty good. Yeah, and she got a 2-for-1 deal on shiny bracelets. Buy one, get one free.
Nice.
And a free trip to the Pokey.
Excellent. Nothing like Rose City, Well, actually, that's the state troopers,
That'd
right?
have been West Branch.
That would have been West Branch.
That was the West Branch post, yeah.
Get a little bit of a ride.
So, yeah, they kind of got into it. One thing led to another, I guess, and she let the fists start flying.
Ooh.
That's not the way to enjoy the outdoor, folks.
That's not the way to be escorted from a campground either.
Well,
right?
And the guy come over and he apologized. I'm like, dude, we weren't even here, man. We just got back. So,
right?
So we didn't see nothing. We didn't hear nothing.
Look what you missed.
Right. So, yeah, almost got dinner in the show. Got the dinner, part of a show, but not the full show.
Right? Exactly.
So,
jeez. So, it's one of those things. You just Rifle River life.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, it was crazy.
I am not sounding as clear as Mike. All right,
that's good.
I know, right?
Keep you muffled.
I know. We're
still tweaking audio.
We're still tweaking audio, so
we'll keep messing.
So you camped in the hood, is what you're telling me? Tammy says.
I guess. I mean, I went to escape it, to get away from all these things here downstate. Yeah. The ruffians, I guess, followed us up there. Actually, I think they were from up north.
I bet you they were probably locals.
They were actually. We found out later they were with a group of 2 other campsites.
Oh, okay.
And he was. They all work for a logging company. Hopefully, not the one that's going to do our logging. And him and the guy next to him were, like some of the workers, and then the owner was the 3rd campsite. And they always go out camping on the weekend, I guess, to get away from things. Evidently, he didn't get away from things.
He got right into it. Mark Coleman, what do you want to know about Deer Camp Coffee? Throw another question about that. That's too general for me.
Danny will explain it all.
Right, because it's tell us about the coffee again, Deer Camp. Okay, yeah, that's still wide, but
4 flavors.
Melissa likes the new cabin.
Thank you. We don't have it completely decorated yet.
We need our interior decorator to show up.
But all that stuff is sitting out here in the periphery.
Yeah, if you look on that side.
Hopefully by next week we'll have some stuff on the wall here and have it a little more decorated. It'll be a little fuller like the old one was. I got to get my deer heads up and might even sneak my coyote in here. I don't know. I was trying to figure out how I could put that in the shot here, but I don't think
it's going to fit.
If we were a little further away from the wall, the problem is the other side of the cabin is where my regular computer goes, and then and my printer, and then on the other desk I've got to put my workstation from work because I'm going to start doing some work from home. Because of all the COVID stuff, now they're setting it up where we can work from home.
Right.
Just in case. What are you laughing at?
Since you gave a story, Mark Coleman wants me to ask you the questions at the end of the show. Now Mark Coleman's yelling at me to ask the questions at the end of the show.
Tammy, we've got somebody to take over your job.
Tammy's slacking. Tammy is slacking, no doubt about it.
Oh, that's good
That
stuff.
is too funny. But, it's one of those things, the cabin, we're going at it. Hey, what's kind of ironic that you mentioned the story that you posted about what happened in the last 8 years.
Right.
Because one of the very first shows a year after that was at a kitchen table.
It was. Matter of fact, that was when he became the co-host of the show. At that point in my life, I was a wreck. I mean, literally, we lost everything in that fire.
You were just about at the end of your rope.
Yeah, and it was just fighting with the insurance company. It was horrible. It was... At that time, I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever go through.
Right?
Little did I know what happened this year was the worst thing I ever went through.
Amen to that.
Nothing like losing your stuff in a tornado, then losing everything in a fire, and then I lost half of my stuff again this last year.
Right? So Melissa, this is a great start to a new cabin. There's no doubt about it. I'm glad you like it.
And a new chapter in Up North Journal's life as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to only aim high from here and upward and onward.
There you go. So, did we get anything back from what he wanted to know more about from Deer Camp Coffee?
No. I'm waiting.
Okay. All right.
So Tammy's laughing. Mark's trying to take Tammy's job. See what's going on behind the scenes here?
Right.
This is great.
Yeah. I'm liking it.
I know, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take our last break. Let's come back because we want to set up what we're going to do next week with our one of our guests and talk a little bit about what was the other question that was going to lead into that? Oh, what we did when we went down to visit the Yamaha guys.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, that's right. All right, so we're going to step outside real quick, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the show. We'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, fourth segment of the show, and this show didn't go like anything like I thought it was going to. I didn't know what to expect tonight, but it's definitely taken one of those wild turns. So.
Yeah, exactly. So Mark Coleman, Deer Camp Coffee. They've got the Cabin, which is a light roast.
That's kind of your morning blend.
Morning blend. Then you've got the Rut,
which I like,
is a dark roast.
That's what you want when you want to go out hunting in the morning and you need that little kick to get you up.
Dominant Buck, which is another dark roast, which is a strong blend.
So if the Rut's not enough, then you get the Dominant Buck.
Opening Day, which is a medium roast. This is four of them, and there's more coming that we'll put up. They have the Huntress, which is, it has a hint of chocolate to it, and it is good, not going to lie.
And then there's the one with the hazelnut.
Yes, the hazelnut, which is, I can't remember the name of the one with the hazelnut in it. But
not to mention they've got some really cool cups, tumblers, all kinds of coffee cups, and other goodies.
Right, exactly. So they've got multiple flavors. K-Cups, Tammy has the K-Cups. I think it just has the one
opening
day in K-Cups if you want to get K-Cups. But they are all really good.
But if you could get the K-Cups that you open up and put your own in, you could get any of these and put it in there.
That's right.
So there you go.
And then what you can also do, like Mike alluded to in the beginning, is check out the cold brew.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. Weird, but good.
Yeah, man. It definitely it has got my interest. That's something that if the weather ever warms up here, I want to try out.
Yeah. It's your brain tells you one thing till you try it. Because you're thinking coffee, hot, not so much.
Right.
Mark Coleman is having coffee right now with a hint of Fireball.
Mark.
Nice.
Well, I guess a little drinking and listening is okay.
Right?
But with what we're doing, no.
Right.
You can't do that.
So anyways, what we did in the beginning of April, we had the four gentlemen we actually interviewed within the past year from Yamaha. Brett King, Robert Blosser, Joshua Blosser, and Joe Okada. We've interviewed them all, 2 last year and 2 this year, and they were coming to town for the first ever head-to-head pro walleye fishing tournament.
Yeah, the H2H.
The H2H. And by gosh, we went down and saw them and met them for dinner, and it was fun.
It was a hoot.
It was a hoot. It was.
The best part was trying to get into a place to actually sit down and eat.
Okay, so I was going to get there because that just we had this whole plan, which actually the plan went according to plan, with the exception of finding a place to eat that didn't have an hour wait.
Right. Well, and it was all right in the middle of the big re-outbreak of COVID, which everybody was freaking out about.
Right. Exactly. So it was one of those things that we got to meet the guys.
We sat there and talked at the dock for what?
An
hour?
At least an hour.
If not longer?
Well, because they were packing up and they were tightening things up because they actually had a really cool setup. They called around. They had private slips that they were in. So they did not have to trailer their boat every morning.
Right.
Which was really cool. And
got to see all their new boats. Nice rides.
Nice rides. There's
beautiful Yamaha motors on the back.
It was a nice 4 boats of actually they were all Yarmars. Yarmars?
Were they?
And they all had Yamahas running on them, and it was great to talk with those guys, go over their electronics, what they had, and it was just
talk a little bit of fishing tactics. They didn't want to give away too much.
Oh, never.
You know.
So one of the problems they were having, lo and behold, was it wasn't the only tournament
in town
that weekend. They said it was the one morning was like a flotilla.
Had 150 other boats out there besides the 32 that was in that one.
Right. So a big shout out to Joe Okada, Robert Blosser, Joshua Blosser, and Brett King. Really great guys.
And Josh can put away the food.
Yeah, when he knows what to order.
Right.
But one of the things we learned with those guys is, just sitting down talking. They kind of asked, "Hey, what do you want to do tonight?" I said, "You know what?
Just chill.
Yep. You guys are working. Mm-hmm. We're just down here to meet you guys and have fun." And Melissa, I wish you could have been there because it was a blast. It was a hoot, and we had some fun. We learned some things. It was and
well, the guys didn't know that when we interviewed Joe Okada right before the show, he went to talk with his daughter, play with her for just a few minutes before we got online, and he was, how a dad will take and toss their kid, just a little bit, and bumped her head on the ceiling fan. When we told the guys that, they let him have it.
It was funny that they were laughing, and you're right, Melissa. Yamaha outboards, they had them and they were running them, and it was funny. And those guys, because they practically travel with each other all the time, mm-hmm. It was fun to see them interacting. And like you said, he got set up thanks to us, mm-hmm. and they let him have it. So it was pretty cool. But what happened was Joe made the cut. And if you guys didn't see it or tune in for it, he made the cut with about 10 minutes to go before the deadline on cut down day. He caught a fish that took him over the edge.
But he didn't know until the final weigh-in.
Well,
until the last guy weighed in.
It was like if you watch the video, it's funny. It's like the last 30. He goes, "This is the longest 30 seconds ever."
Right.
But he made it to the round of 16, and he was able then to fish from Tuesday to Friday, which was really cool. And one of the things they're out there, and man, some guys that won the tournament knew where the fish were, and they were catching them left and right.
It was tough fishing.
Things changed. Water changed.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It was really cold and rainy.
It was just one of those things. It was good, but it was good to sit down. We were able to meet those guys. They just had a tournament last week. None of them made the cut, unfortunately.
Nobody was catching fish.
It was really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I was periodically in and out looking at the scores, and it was like a onesie twosie fish thing going on. It wasn't.
Yeah, I was watching day one, and I was in and out, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times, and I'm like, nobody's catching fish.
Right.
And then day 2 was kind of the same way. I only could, watch a couple times in there, but yeah, it was really tough.
It was tough, and that was over in Wisconsin. And next week they head to Minnesota.
Okay.
So we'll have to check in with those guys, see how they're doing. I think we're going to try to get. We'll get one of them back on the show here in a couple weeks. Talk about the boat now that they got them all put together.
Right.
And we'll see how everything's going.
Well, and I shared the video. Joe Okada had kind of like a little funny video with some outtakes and stuff from, I don't know, I guess past season or what have you. But you guys who hadn't checked that out, go to our page or on Yamaha's page and check that out because it's a hoot.
It is. So we actually got to meet 4 guys that we've interviewed from Yamaha, which was a blast. And I was hoping the Bassmasters would be coming to town, but I think they're kind of avoiding Michigan.
They're going up to New York.
The closest they're going to be is New York, I think.
Yeah.
And so we'll
have to watch from afar.
We'll have to watch from afar. But it was a fun night, a fun Saturday night down in Trenton with the boys from Yamaha.
Absolutely,
it was fun, and we found a place to eat an hour and a half later. So
good food though.
It was good food.
And actually, they took us in and gave us our own room.
Yeah,
which was nice.
That was kind of funny.
Well, that was the problem with the first place we went to. There was 7 of us, and they'd only put 6 at a table.
4.
Was it 4?
We were going to have to break it up into 2 tables.
Okay.
And then it was insane.
We wound up like a couple blocks away at another place, and they put us all in a room together, which was really nice. Very accommodating.
It was.
So. But, we've got about 5 minutes left. We're going to talk about what's coming down the pipe for next week's show. We've already got lined up.
Absolutely.
as you're clicking away there.
Yeah, I'm trying to read as we go here. So, coming up next week, I tell you what, if you haven't seen the video, we will have the video next week. But everybody, if you're any type of boater, any type of YouTuber watching YouTube, you have seen the boat where the two gentlemen in college are doing 55 miles an hour flat out
across the water,
and they're steering brakes, and they end up in the drink.
Yep.
We're going to have one of those two on, which changed his life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about boater safety. It is nothing that has to do with... It'll be a little bit about fishing because that's what he does eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment changed his life and basically his career.
Right. And we talk about safety and hunting and things like that, but this takes it to a whole different level on the fishing side and the motorboat side. I wear my PFD when I'm kayaking.
Absolutely.
But I'm not booking across the water 55 miles an hour.
Two things: flotation, PF, and the kill switch.
Yep. So
most important things when you're hauling butt across the water, and this was something you would least expect to go, and it did, and it basically changed his life in a couple of ways.
Yeah, and they were in college. They were fishing a college tournament.
Yep,
right?
They were fishing a college tournament. So, University of Florida. Gator. More to come on that, folks.
Roll Tide.
Nope, ain't gonna happen.
Oh, he went to Florida?
Yes, he did.
We're gonna have fun next week.
Yes, we are. So stay tuned for that. He will be on the show. Hunter Bland. We're going to talk boating safety. We're going to talk about...
Well, May is Boating Safety Month, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're going to bring him on. We'll do a little review back for the month of May, boater safety, what he has to tell us from Yamaha and boater safety.
Yep, because everybody can learn something.
Absolutely, and it's nothing like being safe out there.
So there you go. Next Thursday night, 7:30. Make sure you're here.
Make sure you're here. Make sure you got your questions ready. It's going to be a heck of a show.
We got just a few minutes left here on the regular podcast portion of the show. So if you got something, throw it at us here real quick, and we'll entertain a few.
It's been good to get back in the chairs.
Yeah,
and it's. I hope our audio is getting better. We will be working on it within the next week.
Yeah, actually, I know Tammy's still watching. Maybe next week we'll get Tammy on. We'll go on our test channel and
when you get back, we'll get on it and
check it out.
It'll be all good for Hunter Bland himself to be on.
Yeah, well, we test drove everything
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, but we were doing it kind of haphazardly. But we just wanted to make sure we got back on the air.
We made it back on the air.
We were supposed to be on last weekend, but it just didn't work. Timing didn't work out. So actually, that was because I was trucking up north.
Yes, you were on your way up to the lake.
Yep, I was heading up to Grouse Haven Lake.
Absolutely. So
yep, they're in Rifle River. So.
But yeah, so stay tuned for that. And then obviously I'm working on the background. We'll have some more interviews.
Mark.
What did you eat at camp, Mike?
I have perfected the campfire potato.
The campfire potato.
Yeah.
Explain.
This was my second attempt at it. First attempt was pretty good, but it wasn't quite there.
Okay.
We had a couple potatoes that were a little bit big. We're using red skin potatoes. This time we poked some holes in it real quick, put it in the microwave for 4 or 5 minutes there in the camper, wrapped it up in tin foil, put some butter in there with it, and then you put it in the hot coals of the campfire.
Okay.
Not the flames.
No, you put it in the coals.
In the coals. So for those of you who don't know about campfire cooking, don't put it in the flames. And don't do that. So I put them in there for about 15-20 minutes. Then I go out and I take it and I do a 180 on them.
Okay.
And then I do them for another about 40 minutes total.
20 minutes aside.
Yeah.
Okay.
And pull them things out. And oh my land, you want to talk about awesome?
Good.
Awesome. Incredible. There's just something about food cooked on the open fire that is just totally different than cooking it on a grill, cooking it on charcoal. Charcoal has its own unique flavor as well, but doing it over just an open campfire, oh man, it's awesome. So we had that. We did carrots the same way.
Okay.
Baby carrots, put butter in there, rolled them all up in tin foil, put them on. Actually, we put them on a grate above just so the heat would get to them, and that way we could do a little flipping back and forth on that. Cut some big yellow onion up the same way. And then we took the ground beef and made patties out of it. We didn't use the bread on it. Just like a hobo dinner.
Right.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Good stuff, huh? So there you go, Mark Coleman.
So yeah.
You got to remind us to ask Mike about what he ate, unlike somebody that is lacking in her job, I guess.
In a little while seasoning.
What seasoning did you use? Do you remember?
She seasons it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Because I noticed, depending on what your taste bud wants to, because I think it's rubline. Ooh, that's good.
We switch it up. I mean, like,
but then
we'll use like the river, or
the dust one.
The dust, yeah. There's 4 that we've got in the camper, and we'll switch it up every time.
Right.
But with the hamburger, we didn't put it on a bun. I'm trying to cut a lot of the bread out, but I didn't use any ketchup. I didn't use any mustard. The only thing I eat with that was the onion, and that's all the flavor you need.
There you go.
I didn't want to cover it up with that stuff. It wasn't like eating a hamburger.
No, it was open. It was like I don't want to say open face, but
same principle.
It was the same principle, right?
Yep.
Gotta have cheese.
Didn't have any cheese.
Oh, so gotta have cheese.
So that's what I had. That's what I had at campfire.
There you go.
The first time we did them, I like I said, the potatoes were a little too big. You want them probably no bigger than your fist. I mean, smaller than that, really. Probably like 3/4 of your fist size.
Well, the bigger, the longer you got to cook them.
Yeah, and then you burn the outsides of them.
Right.
Even that though is not too bad, as long as you don't turn them to ash.
Right.
But they got that little crispiness.
Yes,
to them.
don't make them crunchy.
Yeah, exactly. So no, they were too big, and I didn't leave them in long enough.
Okay.
So
you got 20 minutes. You're down to fist size, 20 minutes aside.
Yep.
There you go.
Perfect.
And the baby carrots you did for about the same length of time?
No, I did those for about 15. They should have been a little longer. They were hot. They had the smoky flavor with them, but they weren't soft.
Okay. A little bit longer.
Yeah. So I'm still working on that. But the potatoes I got perfected.
There you go. That sounds awesome.
Got that down.
I got it down. Well, you're going to have to try breakfast burritos.
Microwave, that's not camping. No, and neither is taking a travel trailer. But you know what? I use what I got.
Right? Can cooker is awesome for campfire cookings, and Melissa says to add black pepper.
There you go.
Absolutely. Black pepper on anything. Not going to lie.
So, next thing I want to get, though, for kayaking is a jet boil.
Yes, we've talked about that before. And
I've done a little bit of research, not a ton, but I want to be able to make coffee, deer camp coffee.
Right?
When I'm on the river.
Absolutely. And with a jet boil, which is only this big.
Well, it collapses down.
It collapses down.
You can put it in a backpack. You can put it in your dry bag, what have you, and just stow it in the bulkhead.
Right. It was Joshua Blosser that we talked about when he went to Alaska.
Yeah.
They had the jet boil.
Yep.
Because they needed this space.
Yep.
Just like kayaking. It's not like you got your whole,
And, we talked to Jim Steffen about it out west. He's out in Wyoming, and out there they use them all the time.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. So we'll have to do some campfire cooking.
There you go. Yeah, so we ran a little long here, but it's been good.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, let's go ahead and wrap up the podcast portion of the show. My phone's dinging here. I'm getting something from somebody at work. So I'm going to let everybody go here on the podcast. It's been a good first time back. It's kind of a hodgepodge.
Well, it's kind of to catch up in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of like that campfire dinner. You just kind of throw a little of this, a little of that at it, and But no, it's good, and we're slowly getting things ramped back up. We'll get everything decorated. We get the audio issues worked out.
Yep.
And my internet here, fingers crossed, say your prayers, is a lot better than it was at the old house.
Okay.
The old cabin.
Same company, different company?
Different company.
There you go. That might be the cost, too.
And it's high-speed internet with a big pipe.
Oh, good deal.
So everything should work out just fine. But I didn't see any issues on the live stream at all. I think everything.
So far, the live stream has been decent.
Yep.
I lost it over here. I don't know why. So
okay, I think it's probably your computer. You're on Wi-Fi. That's probably why.
That could be.
So, but for those of you on the podcast portion listening in, make sure you tune in next week. If you can, get in on the live stream. Check us out Thursday night, 7:30. We're going to have Hunter Bland on talking boating safety.
Boating safety from Yamaha. And if you don't catch the show live, obviously catch it on Facebook. We'll repost it on YouTube the following couple days.
Yep.
And you can see it over there.
Go over to our website. You can catch all of our supporters over there and sponsors. And if you could go over to iTunes, if you're listening on iTunes, give us a review over there. That helps us and in turn helps out the people who support us. And if you like the show, make sure you give it a follow, like, and share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media pages.
And tell everybody about us.
And tell them, yep. Absolutely.
And hey, you guys over at Raised at Full Draw, you guys, you do something good over there, and keep up the good work, and let's get the word out about you guys.
And another quick shout out to M123 FM carrying us in Newberry, Michigan.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. That'll do it for us this week on the podcast, folks. We'll talk to y'all again next week. This episode was brought to you by
PSE Archery, Yamaha Outboards, Better the Hunt, Easy Cut, Packer Max, Deer Camp Coffee, Buck Baits, JPO Game Calls, Limwalker Game Calls, Wild Seasoning, Total Peep, Sunrise Archery, Scent Lock, and Scent Blocker.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.